The Bulldogs are in their throwback blue uniforms. As Jeff Cross tosses the ball up, Kylie Galloway, Erica Herman are the other officials, and Katie Dinnebeer comes out with it for the Drake Bulldogs to a big roar from the Knapp Center crowd. Becker on top, works it to Ava Hawthorne. Bulldogs think that their pace might be a little faster than Iowa would like to play, and that could be an advantage for them.
Yeah, right now the defense for the Hawkeyes, and they get the steal there, but they're getting out and running. But the one thing that Iowa has been doing better as of late is playing better defense, but they're going to have to get back in transition. And there's Grace Knutson, who we talked about.
Bulldogs have a quick answer from Katie Dinnebeer, or rather from Grace Knutson.
Get out and fill those lanes, but Drake came back with the big answer from Knutson, and you know what? Frankly, she needed that. She's, as I said, has struggled a little bit from deep.
Dinnebeer knocks down a three. And you mentioned Knutson, just 3 baskets in her first 16 tries, so you're right. Big confidence booster for her right there.
And that's probably a confidence booster for Dinnebeer as well. She has put a lot of pressure on herself to start this season, and maybe this is the game where she can settle in and get back to those shooting ways that she saw last season.
Stuelke finds O'Grady, and O'Grady finds her second basket.
And that's what Iowa does very well.
Then Iowa has in Northern Iowa, except for Virginia Tech and Toledo. But in that stretch, Iowa is giving up only 61 points a game.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job of just collapsing that defense, making it a little better than what it has been the last couple of seasons.
Becker saves the turnover, and Addi O'Grady, the transfer from Illinois State, comes in and knocks down the Bulldogs' third three.
And going back to that point, Larry, of who the teams that Iowa has played, their biggest deficit of the year was 3 points against Virginia Tech. So the Bulldogs able to get a little bit bigger leads.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs' points have all come on threes. Addi O'Grady with the drive, the hesitation. Miller now in the lane, spins and leaves it short on the iron, and the rebound is taken down by Sydney Hufalter.
You gotta like the move by Miller in there, but I think O'Grady had the presence in there, maybe backed her up a little bit, and she short-armed that shot, got it off the front of the rim.
O'Grady sets the screen, Stuelke drives and scores.
And that's a different dimension than what we've seen out of Hannah Stuelke over the last couple of seasons.
Katie Dinnebeer lets fly, and she has her second three, and the Bulldogs are red hot behind the arc.
And that's what they needed. They did not shoot it well against Creighton in their last ball game, and even against the North Dakota State, they did not shoot it well from three-point. They were able to get the victory in that one, but it was tight. So when Drake shoots the ball well from three, they are going to be tough.
And Addi O'Grady has 8 of the 10 points for Iowa. The other end, though, the Bulldogs transitioning to score.
You can't celebrate after you score against the Bulldogs because they get the ball in so quickly and run the floor. Becker gets down the floor in a great lead pass.
And so we talked about the high number of points when these teams score off at the Knapp Center. So far, the pace is blistering. The shooting is outstanding. Not this time, but O'Grady is there for the cleanup. And Addi O'Grady already has 10 points in this first quarter, and in fact, in this first 5 minutes.
Well, career high of 18 points against Virginia Tech, so she's well on her way to breaking that. Dinnebeer gets the ball eyes up and looking for one of her teammates, cutting right down the middle.
Stuelke on the high post, lobs down low for O'Grady. She still has not missed. She is 6 for 6. Dinnebeer trying to penetrate, stopped by the defensive Hufalter. Cutting across the lane, Hawthorne. Bulldogs can't get it to her. So from the outside, the shot fired by Maggie Taylor. It won't go down. Iowa now on the attack. Again, they go inside. Why not? Why not find the hottest player?
At Virginia Tech, she was 9 of 9 from the floor.
Shannon Fornchell, the sophomore from Minnesota, number 4, catching the ball inside. Now Dinnebeer works her way into the paint. She's stopped, finds an open teammate in the corner, and that is down for 3 by Shannon Fornchell. That is her first 3 of the year, averaging 14 points a game this year. Bulldogs will come up with the turnover. Dinnebeer racing all the way to the baseline. Going for the block is Sydney Hufalter, and Hufalter will be called for the foul. A 6'1" freshman from McFarland, Wisconsin, and with a couple of threes to go along with that free throw, and she hits another.
usually are tops in the nation in sharing the ball and assists, and even here today, both teams combined for 11 assists on the 14 baskets.
Olsen, who was number 3 in the country last year in scoring,
wanting to do whatever she can do to help her team.
Miller runs into Stuelke. Stuelke makes a little contact, and it forces a travel on Anna Miller. Olsen averaging 23.3 last year at Villanova, number 3 in the country. Stuelke takes it to Miller, and Miller commits the foul. When Stuelke and Miller match up, both head coaches have some foul concerns.
Both of these players are going at one another, going to try to get them into foul trouble, get them onto the bench so they don't have to contend with them on the floor.
And all 4 of their players were in the top 100 on the ESPN rankings. Here's the drive into the lane by Knutson, and the rebound is ripped down by Stremlo. Stremlo picked up by Knutson as the Hawkeyes bring it into the offensive end with 1:37 left to play in the first quarter. A drive and a miss, but a chance at the free throw line. The honorable mention All-America, was voted the Big East most improved player. From her sophomore year, where she averaged 12 points a game, to her junior year, she averaged 23 points a game.
And that's just a player that goes and works on their game and tries to add different dimensions to what they do on the floor, working on trying to get themselves open, and that's what she did and made herself a better player a year ago.
What a huge pickup for Jan Jensen from the transfer portal. Knutson leaves the shot off. Miller chases it down, and Miller draws the foul.
Did not like that call. Looked like she got her across the arm.
Hannah Miller averaging 21 points a game, leading the Bulldogs. As we mentioned, Player of the Week last week in the Missouri Valley Conference. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the MVC. Olsen signals a set play. In the corner, it's Mallegni with a long 3, and the rebound into the hands of Grace Knutson.
They work the ball around the outside of that zone by the Bulldogs, and if you pass it quick enough, you're going to find the open shots. Just like that, you pass it quick enough, you get the good cuts, you're going to find the open shots.
And at the other end, a big play coming from Anna Miller. There are a lot of coaches in the country who tell their team, cut like Drake. Olsen pulls up and leaves it shy. The rebound, the run down by Maggie Taylor. And a foul. Well, Drake is in the bonus for the final 34.5 seconds of the first quarter. Dinnebeer already with 8, make it 9 points.
Throughout this entire game, one team going to get hot, the other team's going to come back with an answer.
3 seconds differential, shot clock, and the game clock as Mallegni misses. Bulldogs have to hustle. Dinnebeer will fire from midcourt, and off the blackboard, it did not go down, and the first quarter has come to an end.
It had to be done back 50 years ago to get a basketball team started and up and going.
Such a difference between then and now, no question about that. Both teams with a different story. The Hawkeyes' points have come inside as Stuelke knocks it off the glass and down. And now that's 14 or 16 points in the paint for Iowa. The Bulldogs are doing it the other way, 5 of 11 from the three-point line.
And there's good defense that time on Stuelke, but she's got such great ability to get up over the top of the defense and keeps that ball away from the extended hands of the defender.
Ava Hawthorne knocks down a 3. That's her 6th of the season. And the Bulldogs are now 6 of 12 behind the three-point line.
You know, Hawthorne had a great game against St. Louis in the home opener here at the Knapp Center, so feels very comfortable shooting in these confines.
Again, going inside it.
Well, she's chasing that 9 of 9 that she had at Virginia Tech, and you have to believe that the Hawks are going to continue to go into O'Grady.
Went to Hill City High School with a graduating class of under 40. So that meant if you wanted to play AAU basketball,
dedication and the love of the game and wanting to play.
Falter works it on the near sideline to McCabe. The lob comes inside once again for O'Grady. Grady, a really good passer on the post. That time the ball mishandled, but picked up by Olsen. She pops it in anyway. Once she found the handle, she knew what to do with it.
Found the handle, a couple of dribbles to get the defense off of her and able to shoot a little bit of a fadeaway. And you can see she shoots the ball a little bit behind her head, so it's really tough.
Shannon Fornshell, top of the circle for the Bulldogs. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Hawthorne finds Dinnebeer. Dinnebeer works against the defense of Olsen. Dinnebeer with 4 seconds on the shot clock takes it to the rack and draws the foul. That was Stuelke's second foul, so she leaves the lineup. She is one of the top free throw shooters percentage-wise in Drake career history at around 85+%, and she knocks them both down. Hawkeyes shut out the last 3 minutes. Olsen trying to change that off balance, but she draws the foul.
Gets a little body contact.
Gray's first foul. Olsen knocks down the free throw.
Well, as you had mentioned, a very good pickup for the Hawkeyes, and she is fitting in a little bit different system than...
No field goals for Drake in almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that is not something that you'd expect out of either of these teams. They are very efficient from the floor, but defense may be kicking in, and maybe a little bit of the nerves kicking in as well as they finally break the ice and get the ball into O'Grady.
O'Grady muscles in for a shot that time, and O'Grady red hot, now 8 of 9 from the floor, 16 points. The ball knocked out of bounds, and it will belong to the Hawkeyes as the Bulldogs have turned it over for the 7th time. Iowa has 6 turnovers. McCabe, who's only hit 2 two-point baskets in her career, the rest threes. Nice drive and score by Kylie Feuerbach.
And Feuerbach can do that. She sees a little opening on the baseline.
Love comes inside to Miller. Miller, backdoor cut to Courtney Becker.
They get it over to Courtney Becker.
Becker just 2 points so far today, but maybe over the first 3 games the most consistent of Bulldogs.
To go along with that, and that's something that she's done well her entire career, is go to the glass.
And that's what she's averaging, is 8 rebounds a game, and hit 72% of her shots prior to today, and that shot knocked down by Lucy Olsen. She's been, we mentioned, great acquisition thus far for the Hawkeyes, not only leading them in scoring but also in assists. Here's Olsen draining a 3 for the Bulldogs. Drake has just knocked down their 7th 3 of the first half. They are 7 of 16 shooting the 3 ball. That ties the score.
A good job of dribble penetration and then looking for the open player. And Teagan Mallegni able to find her way and muscle her way in.
Her first basket. Here's Miller coming the other direction against O'Grady. And Iowa knocks it out of bounds. Now Drake needing a 2 to tie and a 3 to take the lead with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. And there's an offensive foul.
And she gets the call.
And in an era when it's getting more difficult to draw a charging foul, an interesting call. The turn by Olsen and the hit by Olsen. It starts to skim out. It comes back in. And Lucy Olsen in double figures with 11 for Iowa.
And it's really plagued the Bulldogs as they had that shooting drought. Just a little over 7.5 minutes. They missed 8 shots during that time.
Miller missing it badly. Becker tries to save it and can't. Drake now just 1 of their last 11 shots. Mallegni drains the 3 ball. Mallegni, whose season high came in the opener of her first college game, 14 against Northern Illinois, hits a big 3 there. Becker drives the lane. Becker leaves it short. Bulldogs now 1 of their last 12 shots from the floor.
And I think the Bulldogs are a little out of sorts. They need to get back and regroup and get set on the offensive end. They are allowing the Hawkeyes to get some separation here.
And Mallegni drains another 3. She'd only hit 1 in 10 tries prior to today and has knocked down 2 in a row.
And that's what she's known for. She's got a quick trigger and she can knock them down when she gets hot like that. She can knock them down in bunches.
Hawkeyes explode to a 10-point lead, and the Bulldogs playing for the last shot of the half. Almost a takeaway. It's loose on the floor. Picked up by O'Grady. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Mallegni again misses the 3 ball, and the Bulldogs and the Hawkeyes, a spirited first half. Bulldogs in their throwback, sort of throwback uniforms, again newly designed, but throwback uniforms. And the Hawkeyes with the possession to begin the second half. Bulldogs started this game red hot, 6 of 10 from the field, best 3 of their last 19 as the Hawkeyes solidified their defense. And going inside is Hannah Stuelke. And once again, the Hawkeyes connect in the paint.
And Stuelke is so quick. And when she gets that first step and gets around the defender, there is no stopping her.
Becker shows it, drives, but doesn't get it. Now the look by Grace Knutson. Miller runs down the long rebound for the Bulldogs. Inside it's Becker, covered up by Stuelke. Bulldogs desperately needing to get some offense going, and it doesn't happen this time. And Drake just 3 of their last 20 shots from the floor and 1 of their last 13. O'Grady's going to get the charge.
Well, and the Bulldogs had a 7-minute. You see the double team, and Stuelke's so good at noticing that and then making the pass across, but good defensive adjustment by Anna Miller, and then another quick turnover by the Bulldogs. Again, the ball in the post to O'Grady. She tries to hit a falter coming across, who mishandles it but gets it back. And then a violation spotted out on the floor, and a foul called on the Bulldogs. A falter brings it on top to Feuerbach. Down low it comes to O'Grady. Miller watches her. This time O'Grady chooses to pitch it back outside. The shot clock goes down to 10. Olsen drives the lane, gets all the way to the rack, loses it. O'Grady, though, picks it up and puts it in. O'Grady picked it up with Miller in her face, able to adjust the shot in midair. It's a career high for Addi O'Grady. She had 18 against Virginia Tech, has 20 in this one. A high-low game for the Bulldogs. And Dinnebeer goes to the line. We're so far so good, perfect at the free throw line. And the story remains the same, and she has 15 to lead Drake in scoring. But nobody else close to double figures right now for the Bulldogs, and that's what they need, some more offensive punch. Inside, it's O'Grady, this time on the miss. Gets her own rebound, and the foul is going to be called. Hawkeyes up by 11, their biggest lead. In the middle, they find Stuelke, and as Stuelke goes to the basket, they won't count it. Just their 9th turnover of the ball game compared to 11 for Drake. So both teams done a pretty good job taking care of the basketball considering the pace. Dinnebeer looks for 3, hits the 3. Calmly took one dribble to the left, get in rhythm, and knocked it down, and that's just tough to defend right there as O'Grady pinned down Anna Miller, and they got her the ball. Quick shot from the other end by Olsen doesn't go, and the Hawkeyes race up the court. McCabe looks for her first 3 of the afternoon. I was hanging on for dear life, and all I remember is being picked up and spun around by Wanda Ford, kind of like a helicopter. That kind of reminded me of that last play. Anna Miller takes it to the paint. Get some contact on the arm and get to the free throw line. Miller averaging 21 points a ball game. One more for Miller, who's just a rebound short of 3 double-doubles in 3 games to start this year. McCabe gives it up for Mallegni. Inside, it is Stuelke. Tries to get around Miller. Miller goes for the block. Miller takes it away from her. What a defensive move by Miller. Boy, Stuelke tried to make that crossover move, and Miller stayed right with her. And then how about the big bucket by Dinnebeer? And Dinnebeer makes the Hawkeyes pay by nailing a 3 and cutting the margin back to single digits. 18th career 20-point game for Katie Dinnebeer. First time this season she's cracked the 20-point barrier. Dinnebeer looking for 2 in a row. Getting the crowd all fired up with those back-to-back threes. It's the kind of shooting that the Bulldogs were looking for. Preseason Valley Player of the Year. Bulldogs on an 8-0 run with 4 baskets in their last 5 tries. O'Grady on the miss, and the rebound taken down by the freshman, Maggie Taylor. Very rare miss for O'Grady, but Taylor did a good job of holding her own. Becker on the miss, but she will go to the foul line. Becker with 2 points thus far today, but 0 of 3 from the foul line. And Becker brings them to within 4. Bulldogs on a 9-0 run right now. Lob inside from McCabe to O'Grady, and O'Grady continuing to set the pace for the Hawkeyes with 24 points. Iowa comes up with the steal. McCabe gets the ball on the baseline to Mallegni. Mallegni drives against Taylor, counts the basket, and the foul called on Taylor. Mallegni muscled her way in. You're going to get a look right here at the steal. You don't pay attention, and Olsen right there to get the steal. Tries to get around the defense, and then Mallegni with face up, give a little pump fake, and then takes it right to the hoop. And it would appear now they want to talk it over. And again, great job by the officials today for communicating with the television audience. And so we're going to have free throws. Teagan Mallegni was going to go to the free throw line anyway after the foul. They were stepping to the free throw line, so she's going to complete that act of shooting the free throws, and then we'll go to the other end and Drake will shoot their free throws for the intentional foul.
And how about Teagan Mallegni off the bench in her 4th game as a collegiate?
They like her coming off the bench. She's a big guard and on the outside has range, can do a lot of different things. We've seen her shoot the 3 from deep, but she's also a guard that can post up.
Dinnebeer to the line for the Bulldogs. She misfires for the first time today. Dinnebeer had knocked down her first 7 free throw attempts before missing that one. She now has 25 points, her career high, 32. Becker, Hawthorne, Taylor on the court for the Bulldogs, along with Olsen and Dinnebeer. And Dinnebeer misfiring from 3, but Drake gets an offensive rebound. It's loose on the court. Olsen has it, diving in to tie her up is Taylor.
But sometimes just take that 1 count, 2 count before you kick the ball out and get things back up to the point guard.
McCabe guarded by Olsen. The ball goes inside once again to Stuelke, and she's able to hit. Stuelke with the basket. That is 9 points for her, and they've all come inside the paint.
Baby hook, if you will, to get it off the glass.
Last year, she set a record at Carver Hawkeye Arena, scored 47 points in a ball game, and it lasted exactly a week. And then Caitlin Clark scored 49 a week later against Michigan.
Yeah, well, it was quite a performance by Stuelke. Had a chance to watch that one, and she just could not miss.
Anna Miller looks for a 3 ball. The long rebound comes to Kylie Feuerbach. Iowa had the lead shaved to 4. They built it back up to 10 with 3:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. O'Grady slips it behind her back to Olsen. That combination has been successful for Iowa several times this season so far.
And it's the staple of their offense. Those big guard or the big posts do such a good job of interior passing, and the cutting is so good.
A reach-in foul going to be called on Feuerbach. And that is point number 26 for Katie Dinnebeer. But Dinnebeer with 27 points and 15 in the 3rd quarter, keeping Drake alive. O'Grady falls down as the pass is intended for her. Anna Miller picks it off. 3 try, nothing but cord for Grace Knutson.
That's where Knutson is really good in transition like that. Catch and shoot right away. You saw her get the feet set and launch the 3-pointer.
Olsen drives the baseline. Now Stuelke will try to penetrate. Punched away from behind, though, by Dinnebeer. Bulldogs come up with the turnover on Monday, and now against Iowa, and then they go to Iowa State next Sunday. Miller having a tough day shooting the basketball, being intimidated by the size of a Mallegni and also a Stuelke. Here's Olsen having the shot blocked. Stuelke with the offensive rebound, and she draws the foul. Actually, it was Hawthorne. Ava Hawthorne getting the call for the foul, and at the free throw line.
On both ends, and she's having trouble. She's shooting the ball fast, and she's being intimidated by Addi O'Grady, Hannah Stuelke on the inside. Again, it's kind of one of those things where you just need to take a deep breath. Don't shoot it as quickly. Go ahead, go up under control.
Dinnebeer knocked down, will shoot 3. Foul called on Kylie Feuerbach.
Is playing hard and trying to do other things to help her team to win, even though she's not scoring the basketball.
Second 30-point performance of her career. And she gets the roll. And Drake fights their way once again back to within 5 at 64-59. Sellout crowd at the Knapp Center. They're seeing a good one. McCabe left open, and when she has left that open, more likely she's going to hit it. Here's the steal by Iowa coming back with it. Mallegni will fire, and she'll bank it in. Back-to-back 3s in about 10 seconds for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, and that's one of those.
Inbounding it, the freshman from Cedar Falls, Iowa, Grace Knutson, who led the 5A ranks in Iowa in scoring last year, averaging better than 20 points a ball game. On top, Olsen. Lobs for Miller. That was an almost impossible pass to complete.
Yeah, she had a defender in front of her and a defender behind her trying to thread the needle with that lob pass. Very tough to do.
Miller bats away the ball intended for Stuelke, but they're going to call her for a foul as the junior from Cedar Rapids, Washington High School, misfires on the free throw.
played a big key in that run for the Hawkeyes last season.
Coming off a double-double against Toledo with 16 points, 11 rebounds in her first start of the season. McCabe looks for some help. On top, it's Becker. Dinnebeer slips the pass inside to Miller, batted away. Dinnebeer takes it back up, puts it up, misses the shot that draws the foul. This is the player the Bulldogs want at the free throw line. And as I say that, she misses for just the second time. She knocks down the free throw. The Bulldogs cut the margin to 11. 4.9 to play as the Hawkeyes have Olsen into the front court. She'll fire a deep three. It's in and out. And at the end of 3 quarters of play, 71-60.
Last 6 possessions for the Bulldogs, they have had 2 missed shots, 3 turnovers, and 1 free throw. So need to be a little more efficient than that. They've made their runs here in this ball game. They need to have a consistent run to climb back into this one.
Dinnebeer, 19 of the Bulldogs' 25 third quarter points. Play continues in the fourth, and as you saw the line on Stuelke, another solid performance by the junior Hawkeye. So Stuelke and O'Grady inside. That is a combination of 38 of the Hawkeyes' 73 points.
Yeah, they've done a good job of pounding the ball inside, working it inside out.
Brooklyn Daly looks on top. Here's Ava Hawthorne trying to go down the lane, running into traffic. And a foul is going to be called on the Hawkeyes. For the Hawkeyes will be Olsen. And she has trouble connecting at the foul line. And the Bulldogs needing to hit some free throws, just 7 out of 14 from the free throw line. Into the lane comes Olsen off the front of the iron, and the rebound to Maggie Taylor. Taylor lobs inside, but Miller got knocked down by Mallegni. Stremlow, the freshman from Verona, Wisconsin, part of this number 9 rated Hawkeye freshman class in the country, will come in. Here's Daly looking for the long three, and the rebound is run down by Sydney Huffalter. Lead feed to Olsen, lobs for O'Grady. O'Grady gets pushed and counts the basket. And O'Grady with a career best 26 points and counting. 27 now for the Hawkeye senior from Aurora, Colorado. 7.5 left to play. Hawthorne inside for Teagan Gray. Bounce pass back to Dinnebeer. And it hangs on the rim. It does not go down. The Dinnebeer does. And now Dinnebeer back at the free throw line where she is 14 of 16 on the afternoon.
Well, I think all these players are tired just with the pace of this ball game.
That her 15th free throw.
Mentally, you make some of those mistakes.
McCabe giving it up for Huffalter, who takes Becker to the baseline, or rather Daly, I should say, to the baseline. But the loose ball, another turnover by Iowa. Here comes Dinnebeer back the other direction. The ball is loose, but it's scooped up by Knutson.
A great hustle by Brooklyn Daly to keep that ball in bounds and keep the possession for the Bulldogs. Gray has a mismatch down low, and they couldn't get her the basketball.
Clear the left side for Dinnebeer. She pushes it up under pressure, and she gets fouled once again. Number 3 on O'Grady. Bulldogs in the bonus the rest of the way. Dinnebeer maybe nearing a school record for free throws made.
Now she's got one more, I believe, to go. The record
but I mean,
is 22.
Okay, 22.
Lori Bauman.
Take away Becker. Finish Becker.
That's a player that you want to get the ball to is Dinnebeer, who's been so hot here in the second half. You want to keep her with the ball in her hands, keep her shooting.
Lucy Olsen with 14 points today in double figures, all 4 games as a Hawkeye after transferring from Villanova, where she was number 3 in the country in scoring. Pass goes inside from Olsen to Stuelke. Stuelke, who'd been on the bench for a while with 4 fouls. Bulldogs try to answer quickly and can't from Knutson. And the Hawkeyes come up the court as we go under 5 minutes in regulation in a 13-point Iowa lead. And a foul is called. We've talked about the number of times that Dinnebeer has been to the foul line. As a team, the Bulldogs have been there 32 times and hit 24 of them. Valter yet to score today until now. Bulldogs now have to go into a hurry-up offense. They've got not much time to make up a 13-point deficit, make it a 14-point deficit.
And Iowa has gone into a zone that has really bothered the Bulldogs.
Daly with a miss, Miller with a rebound. Becker goes to the floor trying to get the pass from Miller. And it's going to be out of bounds off Drake. And again, when they score 80 or more, they are 94-14, and their next point will give them 80 points. Both teams come in averaging basically 85 or 84 points per ball game. So we expected a high-scoring game. That we got as that three knocked down from Taylor McCabe. Miller looks for three. Just not her shooting day. She will probably never in her career have a worse shooting day than she's had today.
And she just needs to forget about it, put it behind her. At the event celebrating 50 years of basketball, have a little panel discussion with those three players, and it was great to hear what they had to say.
And if you saw Wanda Ford at halftime, I know you enjoyed her conversation and how much Drake University means to her. From the projects at Cleveland to basketball stardom at Drake. What a story. Hawkeyes playing the clock now with this big lead with 2 minutes left to play. Shot clock's down to 2, down to 1. Shot taken by Olsen at the buzzer, and it knocks in.
Did it just the way you draw it up as a coach. You work that clock down, get that shot off right before the buzzer.
And the deep shot won't go by Olsen. The follow shot is there by Becker. In this fourth quarter, prior to that make, the Bulldogs were just 1 of 8 in the fourth quarter and just 6 of 22 for the second half. Stuelke and Becker make contact. No foul call there. O'Grady looks for someone to pass to. McCabe back to O'Grady.
Off of the bench, and that's what they've been able to do. And if somebody's not having a great game, you can go to somebody else. If somebody gets in foul trouble, you have another option off the bench. And they have several players that can play that post position very well.
O'Grady leaves with 27 points, a career best for her. Bulldogs, meanwhile, just 1 of 11 down the stretch here in the fourth quarter. Dinnebeer gun. Dinnebeer gets. Katie Dinnebeer with a career high for her, 37 points. 32 her previous career high. But too much Dinnebeer and not enough help from others would be the story for Drake this afternoon.
Yeah, just could not get anything going on the inside. No interior presence. Relied a lot on the three-point shot. And it served him well in the first quarter. But in the second half and late in the second quarter, not able to get those shots to fall.
Lucy Olsen with her 18th point. She is something else. Again, we said it earlier, what a find from the transfer portal for Iowa.
Yeah, it's been a great pickup and somebody that can score in a lot of different ways.
Dinnebeer with 40.
What a performance by Katie Dinnebeer, and she's hands on knees as she's worn out as she's tried to carry her team to victory. Just didn't have enough in the tank and needed some help from some of her other teammates.
So the Hawkeyes will go to 4-0 on the young season, heading for a date with Kansas at the Sanford Pavilion in Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Wednesday. The Bulldogs will go to 2-2, headed for a date with the 8th-ranked Iowa State Cyclones next Sunday afternoon at Hill.